How can you add value to yourself? Maybe by obtaining more degrees. And tomorrow each teacher will come and say, Madam, I am applying for MA, I am applying for this. I will need this much days study holidays. I will require this many days for the exam. Maybe if you are a regular teacher, you will consider. But we might not give you study leave, but exam leave we will give you. Definitely. But if you are an ad hoc teacher, you cannot be given so many days leave. It will be leave without pay. But definitely, there are courses where examinations happen in summer. So you can. That is by obtaining degree. Even without obtaining degrees, can you add value to yourself or not? By reading. Read a book. Keep a book for 10 days. Read a book. Take something out of that book. Translate that book into action in your classroom. Do that. So, please teachers remember, pillars don't make a school. I have so many pillars in my school. It's the people who are the pillars. Without you, the school is just a building of brick and mortar. It's you who add the human touch to the school. You are our most precious assets. We would like to protect you. We would like to nurture you. We would like to care for you. And we would like to see that you are happy teachers. Invest a little of yourself. And I say on yourself, on your appearance, on the way you carry yourself, on the way you come to school. Don't come in a dowdy sari, in a dowdy, useless, faded shirt, unpolished shoes. Don't wear such things. Invest on yourself. When you look good, you feel good. Do you agree with me or not? The day that I am most in the house having a low time, my mother might have been sick early in the morning, or my maid would not have turned up, or I would have had an argument with my husband when he's leaving to office. I might be feeling very low. Oh, kya zindagi hai? Useless. Always only I have to do everything. There are days you feel like that, isn't it? That day wear your best sari. Because when you come to school, children will say, Ma'am, you're looking wonderful. That gives you a wow factor. Be best dressed on that day. It will lighten up your spirits. It will sparkle you. Okay? So I have one small, personal mantra for myself. I keep advocating it to all the teachers. There's a beautiful verse in the Bhagavad Gita which talks about actually how a person should follow the path of karma, duty, and karma yoga. This is the 30th verse of chapter 3. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya yatmachetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigata jalaha. It says, I offer all my actions to you, O Lord, with a devout mind, and I fight without expectations, without possessiveness, and without anxiety. Adhyatma Chetasa, a very devout mind. All of us are very devout. We have our own faiths and beliefs. You might be a Hindu, you might be a Christian, you might be a Muslim. You might follow any faith or any religion. But all of us, I think there are, even if you are an atheist, you believe, okay, things are happening in nature because of some reason. Atheists they may not believe in God, but they believe in nature and the power of nature. So there is something above us that directs us, that helps us, that guides our lives. I very strongly believe in it. Today when I look back at my life Every incident in my life is like a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle being placed properly. Today you might think, oh, this is happening in my life. I am the most unfortunate creature on earth. This is happening to me. Why me? You always question, no, why me? Can you change that question? Why is it that it is me and not why me? Why is it that I have been chosen for this? Why is it? There's a reason. So, take that acceptance in your mind, accept what comes with a very devout mind. Sannyasa, actually, you all think is a renunciation, but in this shloka it says, it's an offering. I am offering. I am dedicating. What are you dedicating? Dedicating all your actions. Everything that you do. Your action not just as a teacher. You're a mother. You're a father. You're a son. You're a daughter. You're a sister. You're an aunt. You're a niece. You have a role to play everywhere. And in every role, you have a duty to perform. Whatever you do, that duty, dedicate it as an offering to the divine. How? How do you do it? How do you do? With, we call it Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. That means I'm giving it to you, oh Lord, I'm doing this. What I get in return, I don't expect. It will come to me. But I'm doing this because I have to do it. I have an 81-year-old baby at home, my mother. Whether it is a working day for me or a holiday for me if I'm at home or even if I'm coming to school, I cook her meal. Because she has a very bad gut and digestive system. She can't eat spicy food. So unless I cook the meal, it is a mental satisfaction for her. My daughter has made something for me. And I can have this throughout the day. So if I have to leave at 7 o'clock, I will wake up at 5 o'clock. I'll cook her meal. My meal might be outside. But I'll make her meal and I'll tell her, Amma, I've made this for you. Please have all this. I'll come and do something for you in the evening. And when I go back in the evening, half an hour, I have to sit with her. I have to talk to her. I have to ask her how her day was. How was she? It's my duty. I didn't realize there were days when I just went home, I used to go to my room, change myself, get to do a phone call, get busy. I might not have spoken with her at all in the evening. One day she suddenly told me, nowadays you have become very busy. You don't have time to talk to me. I realized what happened. Everything else can wait. Half an hour. What work I do in my room, I sit in the hall in front of her and do. She'll be watching television, but in between she'll remember something. I have to tell you this. Okay. According to her, I am sitting in front of her. I am not away from her. Small thing, makes a difference, maybe not to us, but to them. So, how do we do? Nirashihi. Asha. Hindi people will say, what is Asha? Expectation. Nirashihi, not expecting anything in return. So you are a teacher. You are offering your service to children. You will have expectation. If I ask you to work for 0 salary, will you work? You won't work. That is even the dharma does not prohibit us to take, earn in a righteous way. You can earn, you can become rich. Who says no? Nobody is asking you to renounce everything and go and sit on Mount Everest and do japa. No, then who will do? Who will take care of society? People must do their job. People must do, but in a righteous way. But without greed and without expectation. Then, what else? Nirmama. I don't have a mamakara. I don't have an ego. Yes, I am doing this. I only can do this. Nobody else can do this. He's a fool. She's a fool. Only I can do this. I can also do this. He can also do this. She can also do this. Everybody can do this. I don't have this ego. I do my actions being non-egoistic. And then last, Vigatachvaraha. With anxiety, free of anxiety, always we are anxious. We'll tell others, oh, my mind is heated up. I'm very anxious how this is going to happen. I'm a very anxious person. An anxiety syndrome person. The thing has to be done, we'll keep working in my mind. How it will be done, how it will be done, how it will be done. Until it gets completed, I become very anxious. But then later on I realized, just because I am anxious, is anything going to change? Nothing is going to change. Things will happen the way it has to happen. But mild anxiety, definitely we should have. We should not be so careless that anything, will take place. Our effort should be there. But I do my action without fear, without being anxious. The greatest lesson from the Gita that we have learned. If you cannot do what you like what you do. There will be so many situations in your life where you cannot do what you like. Then you have to start liking what you do. If that approach is there in life, then I'm sure all of you will be the greatest assets for all your principals in your schools. And your schools will make the flag of DAV fly very, very high. Thank you. I've stuck to my time. It's 10. Any questions?